Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday. What day of the week it is, I don't know. Okay, so y'all have asked me to talk about this, and so I have hunted down the legal documents, and we are going to jump right in. Um Wells Fargo seems to have filed for a guardianship um on Wendy Williams, at least the assets that they do have control over. And this is very, very terrifying because y'all know I've been talking about conservatorships on this channel for a very long time. Brittany's was the first one. Then, of course, we talked about Sam Williams. And now, of course, now we're talking about Wendy. And it just seems like there's really no freedom. There's no safety. Like you can't do anything. This woman has her own money in a bank account, and now a bank is trying to tell her how to spend it. So don't take my word for it. We're going to read through the court documents together. That's what this is going to be today, a line by line, just like the old days. So let me pull it up for y'all here. No, that doesn't look right. Yeah, here. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Okay. So here we are. These are publicly available court documents. I found them myself. You can look them up yourself too, just based on these index numbers. Maybe I'll make them available on my Google Drive. They are currently on the Patreon, but maybe I can move them to the public Google Drive eventually. Okay, so this is the first document we're going to look at. We're going to look at maybe 4 documents. There are about 7 filed in this case, but I really want to look at 4. We might look at 5. Okay. This is called Emergency Petition for Preliminary Injunction, Temporary Restraining Order, and Other Relief in Aid of Pending Arbitration. So an emergency petition for a preliminary injunction is, you know, whenever somebody, a party to a lawsuit will file this with the court as an emergency, right? Like it usually isn't like, okay, let's all discuss this. Let's have a big trial. Let's wait for no, it's like, no, judge, your honor, this is an emergency. We need you to make a decision on this right now. And I do think it is an emergency because what we're going to read in this document. Now, unlike previous court filing readings, I have read this one already. So we'll see if I go through exactly every single word, but probably we won't. Okay, so Wendy Williams' legal name seems to be Wendy Hunter because she was married to this guy who had the last name of Hunter, but she's now divorced from him. Petitioner Wendy Hunter, buying through her attorneys, Miami Entertainment Law Group, she lives in Miami, I think, brings this special proceeding pursuant to Article 4 of the Civil Practice Law and Rules for an order from this court basically stopping respondent, and respondent is defendant in this case, Wells Fargo. So when you see respondent, that means Wells Fargo. So restraining Wells Fargo and any of their agents, members, officers, employees, representatives, or anyone else acting on Wells Fargo's behalf. So we're seeking an order keeping them from being able to freeze all of petitioner's accounts, including but not limited to her personal, business, deferred compensation, and investment accounts. And they want, Wendy's lawyer wants Wells Fargo to stop interfering with her right to access her financial assets and statements pending a final binding decision by an arbitrator. So what this is a fancy way of saying is, look, Your Honor, we're not going to be able to sort all this stuff out in court because we've all agreed to an arbitration agreement. Arbitration is whenever you go to like a retired judge and basically do like miniature court, but it still is binding and stuff like that. So they're saying, before we can go to mini court, can you please have these psychopaths unfreeze Wendy Williams' bank account? Because she hasn't been found by a court to be incompetent or anything. They just froze her bank account. They didn't give her notice. And we've been asking them for a long time to unfreeze and they won't. Okay, here's the parties. Wendy Hunter, who AKA Wendy Williams. Okay, one thing too, before I get too much deeper into this, I just want to let y'all know, I am not a Wendy Williams fan. And in fact, I don't really like Wendy Williams' show. I think that she allowed pro-conservatorship propaganda on her show when Chloe Malos came on. And I don't think that she's like really a good journalist. That being said, Wendy Williams deserves 100% of her constitutional rights. She deserves 100% of her civil liberties, and she deserves due process before some random bank decides she can't spend her own money. Okay. That's my personal opinion on it. So I don't want to hear y'all talking about, oh, no, Wendy Williams, this, that. I know she's a little problematic, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve her rights. Okay. Here's the parties. Number 1, Wendy Williams. Number 2, Wells Fargo, a limited liability company operating and existing under the laws of the state of New York. Okay. So then the jurisdiction, is in New York. That's fine. Okay. Here's the facts. Let's start with the facts. On or about April 11th, 2018, petitioner, that's Wendy, and Wells Fargo entered into an asset advisor agreement and a client agreement. Collectively, we're going to call those the agreements. So when y'all see the word agreements, it means these two things that Wendy and Wells Fargo signed. It's contracts. One called an asset advisor agreement and one called a client agreement. Upon information and belief, the purpose of the agreements is for Wells Fargo to provide brokerage cash services and to execute securities trades, that's in the stock market, with Wendy's accounts, right? So we already know she probably has a personal bank account. She's got some investment accounts, most likely. Number 8, upon information and belief, Wells Fargo is in possession of several $1 million worth of funds. Okay. So remember how I told y'all they don't want to put a poor person into a conservatorship, baby. No. They only want a rich lady in a conservatorship or a rich man. If you have money or if you have a brand you can license, baby, you are going to get targeted for a conservatorship one way or the other. You better lawyer up. Anyway, several millions of dollars worth of funds. So this isn't some type of, oh, we're worrying about Wendy. No, baby, they're worried about these millions. Okay. Yeah, Wells Fargo already has a terrible reputation. They have a terrible reputation. They have been found by courts to have opened up accounts that people did not consent to opening, collecting fees that people did not consent to being collected. Wells Fargo has a terrible reputation already. They had to do a lot of work to rehabilitate their reputation, and now it looks like just wait. Okay. Number 9, for more than 2 weeks, Wells Fargo has denied Wendy access, whether online or otherwise, to her financial accounts, assets, and statements based on the advisement by petitioner's former financial advisor, Lori Schiller. Okay, so the person who wrote the document that we are reading right now is Wendy's lawyer. So this is from Wendy's point of view. We're on number 10, despite Wendy's termination of Lori as her financial advisor due to Schiller's malfeasance. Schiller's a great name too, just for this. Malfeasance in relation to petitioner's accounts and Schiller's improper conduct in relation to their professional relationship. Wells Fargo continues to rely on Lori Schiller's advisement as support for its decision to deny Wendy access to her financial assets and statements. So y'all, just to clarify here, they're not just saying Wendy can't spend her money. They're not allowing her to even log into her bank account to see what it is that's in there, what they're doing with it. She's completely locked out and she cannot access, even look. She doesn't have access even to her statements. Imagine you go to the bank one day and you done fired I can't imagine firing my financial advisor because I don't have one, but just let's pretend in a world where we have a financial advisor. We hired one. We thought they had our best interest at heart. Then we fired them. Then all of a sudden they told the bank we're crazy and you can't even log into your account anymore. You got to hire a lawyer to get into your own bank account. Imagine. Banks, Anya, I agree. They should not have this ability, period. No, I keep seeing Danielle saying that she signed an agreement to it ahead of time. I would ask that you hold your opinion to yourself and let's just see what she signed an agreement to do and see what they actually did. Unless you've read all these documents. All right. Anyway. I'm about to take all my shit out of the bank. I'm about to be looking like our grandparents putting my cash under the mattress. Okay. As additional support for its decision to keep Wendy's accounts frozen, The bank references its authority under the agreements to pause or reject instructions for a proposed transaction. Now, Danielle, this is what you keep citing. But look, pending judicial remedies or otherwise, they should suspect financial exploitation, dementia, or undue influence. Here you go. Here's the answer to you, Danielle. However, that provision is inapplicable in this instance. It's not applicable for several reasons, including the fact that Wendy has not proposed a transaction for which respondent allegedly has the discretion to pause or reject. So look, what did she actually sign? These people at Wells Fargo are saying, look, listen, we have authority to freeze her accounts. And the reason we think we have the authority to do that is because we have the authority to pause or reject instructions for a proposed transaction. Well, what is Wendy saying? I'm not proposing a transaction. All of the things Wendy needs to do are in the ordinary course of business, like paying her mortgage, paying her employees, and paying her spousal support. Even if the provision did apply, the bank is going well beyond the scope of whatever Wendy agreed to, because they are completely denying Wendy the ability to access or even view, whether online or otherwise, her financial assets and statements. She can't even log in to view it, much less make a transaction. And that is not what she agreed to, Danielle. It is not. So she did not agree to this beforehand. Please do not spread misinformation on my channel. Thank you. Her financial assets and statements that she has requested for the purpose of ascertaining the current standing of her accounts. She just wants to look at what the current standing is. They won't even let her look. This is not a transaction as contemplated under the agreements that she signed. In other words, Wells Fargo's actions and the actions of its agents have impeded and unlawfully prevented Wendy access to her property. Now, I did reach out to Wendy's lawyer, and I did reach out to Wells Fargo, their press media inquiry line. I have not received anything back from either of them, but it was today. So if I get any statements from them, I will update y'all. And I do have my email up in the top right so that I will let y'all know if I get an email during this live from any of them. Although pre-dispute arbitration is required under the agreement, so everyone agrees this has to go to arbitration and it should stay out of the courts. Given the imminent and irreparable harm caused to Wendy by Wells Fargo's actions, Wendy seeks that the court intervene right now as an emergency, situation, and tell them that they cannot deny her access to her financial accounts, assets, statements. It has to be decided by final decision by an arbitrator, and until then, she should be allowed access to her accounts. That's their argument. Now, here's the legal standard. Petitioner Wendy repeats and restates all the things she just said prior. She requests immediate injunction, like an interception by the court, restraining orders to keep them from freezing her accounts again, and enjoining and restraining them from doing it again. And any of their agents, members, officers, employees, representatives, and anyone else acting on Wells Fargo's behalf from freezing her accounts, and from interfering with her right to access her financial assets and statements. While ordinarily the function of a preliminary injunction is to preserve the status quo until a final determination upon the merits can be made, there is no question that in a proper case, the Supreme Court has power as a court of equity. So that in New York, they call it the Supreme Court. In every other state, it would be called the Superior Court. So it's not like actually in the Supreme Court, like what y'all would normally think the Supreme Court is. New York does it different. Court of Equity can grant a temporary injunction which mandates specific conduct, and they cite these cases, granting a preliminary injunction in connection with an arbitration to enjoin lender from foreclosing on a loan. Some other case law. Okay, 19. To obtain a preliminary injunction, a petitioner must demonstrate a likelihood of success on the merits, irreparable harm in the absence of the injunctive relief, and a balancing of the equities. So this is the test that the court's going to have to run before it makes a decision. So B, Wendy is likely to succeed on the merits. To establish a likelihood of success on the merits, all that is required is a prima facie showing that there's a right to relief requested, Moreover, it is well settled that a likelihood of success on the merits may be okay. So they're just giving you the legal standard. Now, here's on the declaratory judgment. The Supreme Court may render a declaratory judgment having effect of final judgment as to the right and other legal relations of the parties to a justiciable controversy to state of okay. So this is the test again, and they're just telling the court, here's the test that you're going to have to do to determine this case. In this case, Wendy is likely to succeed in establishing her right to a declaratory judgment because there is a controversy between Wells Fargo and Wendy as to her right to access her own assets. And respondents' decision to Wells Fargo's decision to deny her access. Due to the adverse legal interests between Wendy and Wells Fargo regarding this matter, a judgment by the court will settle the issues and finalize the controversy. Additionally, given the imminent and irreparable financial damage directly resulting from respondents' actions, that's Wells Fargo's actions, the judgment will have a direct and immediate effect on Wendy's right to access her property. Thus, Wendy is likely to succeed on the merits for a declaratory judgment against Wells Fargo. And Wendy is claiming a breach of fiduciary duty. The elements of a cause of action to recover damages for a breach of fiduciary duty are the following three things. Number one, there has to be a fiduciary relationship. Number two, the defendant, Wells Fargo, has to have engaged in misconduct. And number three, damages have to have arisen or, been caused by the conduct. So harm or damage. In this case, Wendy is likely to succeed on the merits of a breach of fiduciary duty claim against Wells Fargo because Wendy will allege that the parties in fact do have a fiduciary relationship. Respondent's misconduct in breach of its fiduciary duties, not limited to the determination to freeze, withhold, or alter her assets, and it directly resulted in damage. They're saying, look, you need to do 1, 2, and 3 up here. We got them in this case, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Petitioner further submits that the potential harm faced by Wendy if Wells Fargo is permitted to continue freezing all her stuff far outweighs any potential harm that might come to Wells Fargo for them being precluded or not allowed to do such a thing. So they're doing a weighing, right? Like Wells Fargo is not going to be harmed by giving Wendy her money, but Wendy is going to be harmed if she can't pay her bills out of her bank account. If this court does not stop Wells Fargo, Wendy will be in default of several bill payments, including her mortgage, her marital settlement payment, and her employee payroll. So they really have her jammed up. Thus, Wells Fargo's actions, if not enjoined by this court, will threaten Wendy's financial viability. So they're stopping her from being able to pay her bills. Wells Fargo's continued interference with Wendy's ability to access her assets will not only result in Wendy's inability to support herself and her family, but also will result in irreparable damage to her business and to her brand. By contrast, Wells Fargo will not suffer any actual harm if it is prohibited from withholding her money from her. Under these circumstances, where the equities overwhelmingly favor Wendy, preliminary injunction is necessary relief and is appropriate. Okay. Number 27 says, if the court does not grant the requested relief, petitioner will continue to suffer, that's Wendy, will continue to suffer imminent and irreparable harm because Wells Fargo is stopping Wendy's right to properly manage her personal finances and to make timely payments on billing accounts, which threatens Wendy's ability and her financial viability and financial health and safety of her family. Additionally, if the court doesn't intervene, Wells Fargo is going to be free to further damage Wendy and continue to interfere with Wendy's financial assets and property, which will threaten petitioner's ability to manage her ongoing business obligations. Interference with one factor in determining whether harm is irreparable is the availability of a legal damage remedy that will adequately compensate the applicant. The legal remedy must be complete, blah, blah, blah. So this is more legal standards. In this case, enjoining Wells Fargo, like stopping them from freezing, withholding, and otherwise altering Wendy's financial accounts, is the most complete, efficient, and practicable way of maintaining Wendy's rights until they can sort this out in the arbitration. The alternative would be to permit Wells Fargo to continue to deny Wendy access to her financial assets and allow petitioner to default on her financial obligations, resulting in petitioner's inability to pursue ongoing business endeavors and to force the arbitrator to attempt to measure Wendy's damages based on some speculated amount instead of the actual amount. Okay. Thus, legal action for damages is impracticable and inefficient when compared to the equitable remedy. Okay, so they're saying, look, Your Honor, your other option is to let them keep doing this. And then we're going to have to get all these experts to come in and guess on how much money Wendy could have made, couldn't have made, would have made, wouldn't have made. The better thing to do here is to let her have access to her money until they can get to arbitration. And once they get to arbitration, then let them sort it out there. And Your Honor, whatever they decide in arbitration, we're going to listen to them. So if that means freezing assets at that point, fine. But we need to have access to this until Wendy gets arbitration, because right now there's nobody in charge of this money to make sure that things are getting paid. Bills have to get paid. And Wendy Williams is going to be the one held responsible if she can't pay her bills. That's what her lawyer is arguing. Boycott Wells Fargo. Exactly. Yeah, they did. Oh my goodness. The Sean files. They actually did. You're one of the people that they made an account. They opened an account for you that you didn't approve. I heard about that. Yep. That they got in a lot of trouble for that. I've never met anybody who it happened to. Okay. Anyway. Okay. The balance of equities favor the petitioner. And I think we already discussed that enough because I have a lot of documents to read today. I don't want to get caught up on this one. Okay. So basically the lawyer's saying, look, listen, until we can get to the arbitrator, you need to go ahead and let Wendy have her money, because at the very least, she has bills to pay and stuff, and it's not getting paid, and it's damaging her. These people are causing damage to her. Her employees aren't getting paid. Her family has stuff to pay. Like, no, this is really big deal. They just took away her money, and they need to give her access to her money at least until the arbitrator decides what they're going to decide. So here's the things that they're asking for, and it's just basically to keep everything where Wendy has access to her stuff until the arbitration. Okay, so now I'm going to show y'all the next document. Okay. What's this one? I want to show y'all Wendy Williams. Oh, here it is. Okay. So Wendy actually has filed a document in this case as well. Hold on, my heater. So now I'm going to show y'all Wendy's document that she filed. Oh, I didn't share my screen. Oops. Gotta love Alive. So Wendy is going to tell you her side of the story. We're going to read it right here from the horse's mouth, as they say. Okay. So this one's called Affirmation in Support of Order to Show Cause for Preliminary Injunction, Temporary Restraining Order. Okay. So there was also an order to show cause filed in this case for the lawyers keeping up. And so this is an affirmation in support. Wendy Hunter, an individual over 18 years old, affirms the following under penalty of perjury. Everything in here is correct. I'm over 18 years old. I am the petitioner named in the above entitled lawsuit commenced by the filing of an emergency petition for preliminary injunction filed on February 4th, 2022. As such, I have personal knowledge of the facts stated herein. I submit this affirmation in support of my emergency petition, which is what we just read. That was the emergency petition. In order to show cause for a preliminary injunction and a temporary restraining order pursuant to Article 63 of the Code, blah, 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 any of their agents. Okay. This request arises from, among other things, Wells Fargo's failure and refusal to reopen my personal business, deferred compensation, and investment accounts and unfreeze my financial assets, which has caused and is causing imminent and irreparable financial harm to myself, my family, and my business. For more than 2 weeks, Wells Fargo has repeatedly denied my request to access my financial assets, which total over several $1,000,000. I have submitted multiple written requests to Wells Fargo, and I visited various Wells Fargo branches in South Florida area in an effort to resolve this matter outside of the courtroom. To date, I have submitted and made over a dozen requests regarding the financial damages resulting from Wells Fargo's decision to unlawfully deny me access to my accounts. As a result of my inability to access my financial assets, I've defaulted and I am at risk of defaulting on several billing and financial obligations, including but not limited to mortgage payments and employee payroll. In response to my requests, Wells Fargo has informed me that their determination to deny me access. So, look what she says. Wells Fargo has informed me that their determination to freeze my accounts is based on the advisement of my former financial advisor, Lori Schiller, who alleged that I was of unsound mind. Okay. So, this Lori Schiller, we need to investigate her, is alleging that Wendy Williams is of unsound mind. Now, is Lori Schiller the financial advisor? Is she a doctor? Does she have a PhD? Does she have an MD? I don't believe she is in the position to determine whether somebody is of sound mind to spend their own money. I don't think, but we'll see. Despite Wendy saying, this is her writing, despite my decision to terminate, to fire Schiller as a result of her improper conduct in relation to my money, Wells Fargo continues to deny me access to my financial assets and statements. As I am in the process of auditing my current vendor and service contracts to ensure that all personal and business relationships are in line with my current needs, it is essential that I have access to all of my financial property. It appears that Schiller was and is disgruntled by Wendy's decision to fire her for a potential change in direction. And it saddens me that Wells Fargo and I have not been able to resolve this controversy amicably. Given the imminent and irreparable financial damage directly resulting from Wells Fargo's actions, I demanded that Wells Fargo reopen my personal business, deferred compensation, and investment accounts, unfreeze my financial assets, and allow me to access my bank statements immediately, or I would have no choice but to seek the court's intervention. Despite overtures that their in-house legal team would give a ruling after I provided them with a properly executed, witnessed, notarized power of attorney and signed letter of representation, as requested, Wells Fargo has yet to advise me of their legal team's decision and has instead engaged Bressler, Amory, and Ross as their legal counsel regarding this dispute. Now, I did contact Bressler, Amory, and Ross, and they did not respond to me, but hopefully I will get some type of answer from them and I will update y'all and let y'all know what they say. Water break. Okay. So basically, what Wendy is saying is, look, listen, we reached out to these people a while back and they said, oh, okay, well, what you're going to have to do is give us a power of attorney, executed, witnessed, and notarized, and a signed letter of representation. And if you do that, then we'll be able to unfreeze your accounts. Wendy said, well, I went ahead and did all that. And now instead of giving me a ruling, they just went ahead and hired this outside firm. So it looks like they're getting ready to start going to court over this situation. Nevertheless, despite the urgency of curing the irreparable financial damage in a good faith effort to resolve this matter without going to court, I advise my attorneys to let them figure their shit out before I give them until February 3rd before we actually file anything in this matter. And, then if they still haven't said anything by then we would go to court. However, Wells Fargo has still failed to reopen my accounts, unfreeze my assets, or allow me to access my financial statement. This is the craziest thing to me. They won't even let her log into the bank account to access it, to look. This woman, regardless of what you think about her, and I already told y'all my opinion on her, she earned this money and it's hers. I don't care if she wants to go buy an island in the middle of the ocean. That's her money. Why do these big banks, financial advisors, managers, and all these people think that they can know how to spend somebody else's money? But let me tell you something, Lori Schiller. Why don't you figure out how to spend your own money since you're so worried about money? This ain't your money. You're fired, sweetheart. Turn the reins over. It's like these people become entitled. They become entitled to celebrities' money, and they're entitled to the little fees that they're making off of rich people. And then they want to go ahead and control people. Just wait till we get to the guardianship part. Y'all are going to freak out. Their failure has caused and is continuing to cause irreparable financial damages and financial hardship to me, my family, and my business. Until Wells Fargo reopens my personal, business, deferred compensation, and investment accounts, unfreezes my financial assets, my family and I are at risk of suffering continued non-repairable financial harm while enduring ongoing financial obligations. It is respectfully requested that the court issue an order for a preliminary injunction and temporary restraining order, stopping and restraining Wells Fargo and anybody working for them from being able to freeze my shit. And there she is. She went ahead and signed it there. Okay. So now we're going to go and we're going to read two letters from Wendy's, one from Wendy's lawyer and one from Wells Fargo's lawyers. Okay. So first we're going to read Wells Fargo's lawyer's letter and we're going to get their side of it. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Let me just share the screen. So this, I have it. If y'all are going to look at the very top, I don't know if y'all will be able to see the title, but I actually titled it the wrong thing, which might be confusing. But what I'm about to pull up is actually a letter from the bank's attorneys. Okay. So let me just share that with y'all. Okay. So this is from Bressler, Amory and Ross. This firm, dear Justice Bluth, this firm represents Wells Fargo Clearing Services, the named respondent in the above proceeding. We are writing to ensure that the court is aware of our representation and to facilitate our participation in any application by, thank you, Marta. We want a courtesy copy, blah, blah, blah. We want to inform the court, here y'all go, that Wells Fargo has filed a petition in the guardianship part for the appointment of a guardian of the property of the petitioner, that's Wendy, herein under Article 81 of the Mental Hygiene Law. One more time for the people in the back. Wells Fargo has written to the court. This isn't the craziest part. Just wait till what Wendy's lawyer says back. We want to inform the court that Wells Fargo, a freaking bank, a financial institution, a financial advisor, has filed a petition in the guardianship part for the appointment of a guardian, that's a conservator, of the property of Wendy under Article 81 of the Mental Hygiene Law. We welcome the opportunity to provide Your Honor and the other lawyer with a copy of the guardianship petition, but we would like to do so under seal or in another manner that will preserve the confidential nature of a guardianship proceeding, aka we don't want that surprise witness and the rest of the gang to get a hold of the guardianship petition because we might have done some messed up stuff in it. If you're just joining us, Wells Fargo has filed for a guardianship. For a guardianship to be appointed over Wendy Williams' assets because they didn't like how she was spending her money. Can you believe that? Can you believe this? No, y'all, the bank isn't going to be the one taking control. They have petitioned for the appointment of a guardian, which I am certain that Wells Fargo has a guardian in mind who they want. That's just speculation, but I feel it in my spirit. Who had the POA over Wendy? I do not know, Paula. So we would give y'all a copy, but only if you let us keep it secret because we don't want everybody knowing what we did. To summarize, without divulging too much on the public record because they know we're looking, Wells Fargo has strong reason to believe that Wendy is the victim of undue influence and financial exploitation. By who? You? Wendy is an established client of Wells Fargo and notably 15 years with a particular financial advisor. That's Laurie Schiller. You can't make these last names up, y'all. Schiller is her last name. Thank you, Ronnie. She has been with this advisor for 15 years, and this advisor has an unblemished record. Guess what, y'all? Guess who else has an unblemished record? If you just look at the filings, you just look at the papers, who else has an unblemished record? Lou Taylor. Lou Taylor, Mitchell Martin, they have unblemished records. Do y'all think that means you want to let's take a poll. Comment below if you want Mitchell Stanley Martin to take over your assets at Stonebridge Investment Council, even though he doesn't have even though he has no blemishes on his record. Let's take a poll. Wells Fargo is relying not only on the reports of Laurie Schiller, who apparently is not a doctor, so I don't know what the hell she has to do with this, who has recently witnessed telltale signs of exploitation, including the petitioner's own expressed apprehensions, but also upon other independent third parties who know the petitioner well and share these concerns. So they all got together and gossiped about Wendy Williams and then froze her bank account. That's what they're telling us. They're admitting it to you. The Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, that's FINRA, regulates financial service companies like Wells Fargo, and they have become increasingly aware of these types of problems and have encouraged financial institutions to be alert to possible exploitation of their clients. So FINRA's in. I mean, what they're trying to say is FINRA's in on the conservatorship racket. Laurie Schiller, Lori, still works for Wells Fargo. She's a Wells Fargo employee or a Wells Fargo independent contractor, but she is affiliated with Wells Fargo. Certainly. I looked it up myself. This is consistent with the New York State Social Services Law, which encourages measures to mitigate improper use of adults' funds, property, or resources. FINRA Rule 2165, as recently amended, authorizes, but does not require, y'all. Let's look at the words they're using. Authorizes a financial institution to place a temporary hold on the disbursement of funds or securities where such activity is suspected. That is precisely what Wells Fargo has done here, pending a determination of the guardianship part concerning its client's capacity. Y'all just wait till you hear what Wendy's lawyer says about this guardianship. As noted, we stand ready to provide the court with the record that will be furnished to the guardianship part. That's the surrogate court in New York, which is the guardianship, the probate court basically type of thing. Wells Fargo says, we respectfully suggest to preserve the confidential interests of the alleged incapacitated person. They're calling Wendy an alleged incapacitated person already. There has been no determination made. And in fact, her son has come out and said she don't have dementia. We note that although the current proceeding is styled as one in aid of arbitration, we are unaware of any pending demand for arbitration or pending FINRA arbitration between these parties. Wells Fargo is merely a stakeholder in this proceeding. Yeah, right. Merely a stakeholder. Wells Fargo is the one who's alleging she's incapacitated. Okay, merely a stakeholder. That's cute. It has no interest in the outcome. Yes, you do. Your employee is seemingly getting a percentage off of all the funds in this thing. Or was. Or was. I know Wendy always talks about Brittany in a bad light, and that's why I don't like Wendy Williams. But y'all know facts are facts. What's fair is fair. And I put my personal feelings aside in the interest of justice, in the interest of logic. Because if we all go around making decisions and deciding to only take up for causes that help people we agree with, then we're hypocrites. And I'm not a hypocrite. And I don't like Wendy Williams, but I will advocate for her rights. And maybe this little situation might make her start being a little bit more sympathetic to other people's rights. We have little doubt that regardless of the outcome of the guardianship proceeding, Wells Fargo will have demonstrated good cause for acting in a cautionary manner of this proceeding. Okay, so now I'm going to show y'all what her lawyer said back. Let's put Lou Taylor in a conservatorship. Yeah, exactly. Let me see this. Injunction. I'm trying to find the thing where the lawyer said, like, we didn't. I might have to just read it. Hold on. Let me see what it is. I had, like, y'all know I'd like print everything out. So let me just see. ME, the Miami Entertainment request for emergency. It's like on a thing like this. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Is this it? No. I guess I could have got all my files put together before I came on, huh? No, that's not it. No, that's not it. It's an ME letter. Did I just not? Okay, hold on. I'll just pull it up online. These are all publicly available. Okay, document list. Petition, order to show cause. This was filed by ME. Addendum, notice of appearance, letter correspondence to judge. Yes, this one. From Celeste McCaw. Okay, got it. Okay, sorry. Y'all know I'm like not that good at keeping my documents organized on the internet. Okay, got it. Sharing it now with y'all. This is going to be Wendy Williams' lawyer's response to what we just read, to that other lawyer's letter. Okay. Miami Entertainment Law Group. Okay. Dear Justice Bluth, we have received notice that an order to show cause, a copy of which we attached, has been filed in your court. Given the urgent nature of this matter, we would respectfully ask that you just go ahead and decide without us doing much more. We need a, restraining order right now. We don't need to do this order show cause and all this shit. Give my client her money back. Okay. TRO provides immediate injunctive relief during the pendency of a motion, blah, blah, blah. So we need immediate relief, right? They lay out that test again. Here's the test, Judge, Your Honor. These are the things, and they all exist in this case. We need to pay our bills, type of thing. Okay. While we understand that the other side, we're here. While we understand that Wells Fargo needs to prepare its opposition, Wells Fargo has been put on notice of these claims for some time, even prior to our February 4th filing. In hopes of resolving this matter amicably and without the need for court intervention, our office has been in consistent communication with Wells Fargo directly. And once retained, we've been in contact with this Bressler people who just wrote that letter we just read. Thank you, Sean Files. Additionally, after informing us that he was authorized to accept service on Wells Fargo's behalf, courtesy copies of the emergency petition and today's filings were sent to their lawyer prior to his office filing a notice of appearance. Copies of the correspondence between us, so email receipts, you can find below. And we'll read the email receipts also. Okay. Here, this is the thing that is going to make y'all so mad. This is what's going to freak y'all out to the extreme fullest. While we have reviewed opposing lawyers, right, Wells Fargo's lawyers' letter dated February 9th, 2022, a copy of which we just went ahead and included here, referencing a guardianship proceeding concerning Wendy, we have not been notified of any such proceeding, and we have no knowledge of it. Y'all, do you understand that? Wells Fargo went behind Wendy's back, went behind Wendy's lawyer's back, and filed for a guardianship. Then wrote a letter to the court like, oh, we filed for a guardianship. Now you have Wendy's lawyers saying, we don't know shit about that filing. A guardianship? So are they back behind the scenes figuring out stuff about guardianships without any representation? Are they just going to decide about a guardianship behind Wendy's back? Because you have her lawyer saying under penalty of perjury, we've reviewed this letter, but we don't know anything about a guardianship proceeding. We have not been notified of any proceeding, and we have no knowledge of the proceeding. Nevertheless, Wendy denies. Thank you, Sean Files, again. That's so nice. Wendy denies that she's the victim of undue influence and financial exploitation. So I don't know who this Lori Schiller person is, but shut up. Despite Wells Fargo's assertion that its suspicions are genuine, their decision to deny Wendy access to her own money for weeks without providing her or her lawyer with any explanation or evidence to support its decision, and their decision to wait until Wendy had to file a court filing, gives us reason to question whether or not they really are suspicious and genuine, or if they're maybe trying to pull some scandal behind the scenes. Yes, exactly. Carrie Ann. Where's Carrie Ann's comment? Hold on. They don't want her to know. They don't want to let the lawyer know that they have a court-appointed one ready to take over when the judge rules in their favor. Bingo. Bingo. It's a racket. It's a racket. Shut up, Lori. New merch. Is Lou Taylor behind this? Honestly, y'all, the audacity. The audacity. Okay, let's get back to, I've got words. Hopefully the lawyers will be able to help. Let's get back to this one. Oops, that's not right. Nope, that's not right. Why do I keep pressing the wrong thing? Okay. Although Wells Fargo's lawyer states that his client's actions are for the protection of Wendy Williams' financial assets and her confidentiality, Wells Fargo's delay in resolving this matter and their denial to allow her to pay her debts or even access her current account statements is in fact harming and not protecting those very same interests. So they're sitting there going, oh, we don't want to harm her financial viability. But the fact that she can't pay her bills right now is harming her, in fact. And they're saying, well, she might get harmed if we let her spend her own money. Well, she is definitely going to be harmed if she can't pay her bills. Moreover, and as repeatedly stated in our filings and in this letter, her inability to access her financial assets has caused her to be in breach of ongoing financial obligations, including judicially approved settlement agreement and a court order related thereto. So this is basically saying she's going to be in legal trouble because she is court ordered to pay spousal support to her ex-husband. There's a court order that she has to pay him. She cannot do that because you idiots will not let her even so much as swipe her debit card. So she's about to be in legal trouble with the court that's going to be like, well, you have to pay this man. Well, she can't pay this man because she don't have her money. Protection, more like profiting. Exactly, Darcy. I like that name, Darcy. Okay. Did they add a new one? I keep my muscle memory is not pressing the right thing. Okay. Additionally, to address Wells Fargo's lawyer's concern regarding the styling of this matter, the current proceeding is styled as one in aid of pending arbitration under Article 75. Okay. Should there still be cause for concern, we're happy to amend the caption of the proceeding so as to clarify the purpose for which this matter has been brought. Lastly, as Wells Fargo lawyer letter states, several issues of immediate concern, along with acknowledging that this letter was intended to facilitate his office participation in any application by petitioner for a provisional remedy, unless he is in objection with having a hearing to be held in this matter as soon as possible, I respectfully request that the temporary restraining order be granted and a hearing be scheduled in an effort to resolve this matter as equitably and as efficiently as possible for the benefit of both parties. Okay, let's see. So here's the order to show cause. And that's going to be due by February 15th, which you see here, right? So let's read it. Let Wells Fargo, through its lawyers, show cause at an IAS Part 1-4 of this court before the Honorable Arlene Bluth at the Supreme Court of the State of New York, located at blah, 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 on February 15th on submission only. This means like, we're not going to show up and do arguments. Just send it all in by February 15th. So they have to give their side of the story by February 15th on why an order should not be entered for a preliminary injunction. So basically it's saying, Wells Fargo, we are going to let Wendy have her money until y'all can sort it out in arbitration, unless you can tell us your reason why we shouldn't. So Wells Fargo has 5 days from right now, from the making of this video, to give the court their reasons. And I don't think, oh, here's your guardianship petition is going to cut it. Okay. Ordered. This order and the papers upon which it is based, served upon personal service before the 11th of February, which I'm sure they have it by now because we have it. Sufficient to papers, if any, shall be filed. Okay. Opposition papers, any opposing papers, all your crap needs to be filed by February 15th by 1 p.m. Now, here's the emails. But our emails. Okay. So that's February 9th. It probably starts down here. Y'all know how this, we can put a man on the moon, but we can't put an email in order. It's just abysmal. Okay. February 6th. So this is from L. Thomas, who I don't know who that is, to Sarah Soto, subject, Wendy Williams. Good afternoon, Sarah. Will you be accepting service on behalf of your client? Good morning, Ms. Thomas. According to published reports, Ms. Williams has filed suit against my client. Would you please send me a copy of the filing? Okay. So this looks like this is from Wells Fargo. No. Yes. Okay. This is from Soto. Sarah Soto at Wells Fargo lawyer. Okay. This is Wells Fargo's lawyers. And they're saying, good morning, Ms. Thomas. According to the news, Wendy has sued us or sued my client. Can you send me a copy of the filings? And then Wendy's lawyer writes back, hi, good afternoon. Are you going to be accepting the service or are you just being nosy, right? Dear Ms. Thomas, I am Sarah Soto's litigation colleague in New York. I'm authorized to accept service of any New York process on behalf of Wells Fargo relating to Wendy Williams. So here come David Pikus, who works at Bressler Amory. We just read his letter before we read Wendy's lawyers. So he's, saying he's the lawyer. Thank you for accepting on behalf of your client. Please find for your review and reference all the documents we just read. Okay. So that's that. And then what else do we have here? This is the letter we already read, right? This is Wells Fargo's lawyer's letter that we already read, where they said that they did, if you missed it last time, filed for a guardianship to take over Wendy's rights, her constitutional, civil, and human rights to access her own money that she made and earned and owns. They went behind Wendy's back and filed for a guardian to come in and take over bank accounts, summing and totaling in the hundreds of millions. In the multiple millions is what they said. Multiple millions, not hundreds of millions. So that is that. I mean, I'm flabbergasted. And what I'm so flabbergasted and so astounded at is that Wendy's lawyer didn't even know about these guardianship proceedings. Wendy's lawyer doesn't even know. I went to look up the guardianship proceedings, and guess what, y'all? The only way that you can access guardianship filings and records is to make an in-person appointment and go to New York City after making the in-person appointment and dig through the paper files. They're not available online. This is a racket. This is not transparency of our government. This is not transparent. This is not. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today on this fine Friday morning, evening, afternoon, whatever the time it is where you are? I was going to make a video about Bam Margera today because, y'all, there's some stuff going on in that case. Look, I'm just encouraging y'all, keep an open mind. But as you can tell by the title, the thumbnail, this is not what this video is about. Today's video is about something that I actually overlooked yesterday in my haste to, run and tell the world that Wells Fargo, like, it's so weird that I'm even saying this sentence. Wells Fargo, who, like, let's be honest, can't even figure out how to run a damn bank. I had people all up in my comment section talking about, yeah, Wells Fargo started a bank account, 2-3 bank accounts in my name, and I had to get paid out in a lawsuit. What? Look, y'all, I mean, just recently, let me show y'all this. This is just like a recent thing. Look, September 2021, Wells Fargo gets into trouble yet again over alleged fraud. I mean, listen, Wells Fargo seems like they got a lot bigger problems to be worrying about than trying to put famous Black women into conservatorships. And yet, in 2021, the year of our Lord Britney Jean Spears, we have a bank, a financial institution that this lady just happened to just have her money with, filing to put a woman into a conservatorship. So if you missed that video yesterday, I do encourage you to go watch it. It is awful. Not the video. The video is great because I'm in it. But the situation is awful. Okay. So what I did want to, thank you. Good hair day. What I did want y'all to see is there are 2 letters from Wells Fargo's lawyers. Now listen, just from a lawyer perspective, it's pretty strange that they're sitting here writing letters to the judge. Like, you're supposed to file motions and stuff. But in a situation where you do have some time is of the essence and it's an emergency, sometimes the judge will just say, send me a letter. Let me see what you're talking about. Okay. So we read together yesterday one of those letters. Now let me pull this up for y'all. So the letter that we read yesterday together was this one. Remember, it was this part right here. Wells Fargo has filed a petition. What on God's green earth is a freaking financial institution filing for a conservatorship or a guardianship to be put over someone? Now, there's a lot of chit chat going about the Twitter about, it's a guardianship, it's not a conservatorship. Y'all, it is the same thing. A guardianship and a conservatorship are the same thing. It is a reassignment of certain of your allegedly inalienable rights to somebody else. Okay. So look, this is not even the worst part. I mean, the whole thing is the worst part, but it gets worse. Because look at this. Look, this letter is dated February 9th. We did read it. And I think we might even looked at this one yesterday, but let's read this letter together real quick. Yet another letter from Wells Fargo's attorneys sent yesterday to the court. On behalf of Wells Fargo, we apologize for further correspondence. See, even they're acknowledging, like, we're really not supposed to be writing all these letters to the judge. This is unusual, right? But we are concerned about Wendy's situation. Well, I'm concerned about her situation too. You got a friggin' bank trying to put a conservatorship on a human. What on earth? I'm concerned about her situation too. Comment below if you're concerned about her situation. Okay. And want to reiterate our desire to be heard. Let me get y'all a picture of who's writing this letter real quick. Hold on. Who's writing this letter? Kikus from Bressler. I just want y'all to just get a good picture in your mind of what we're dealing with here. All right. Okay. So this is our author, David Picus. I don't know how to say his name. Okay. David Picus gets results He has been actively engaged as a litigator for over 3 decades in New York and New Jersey. Well, guess what? Giddy up, David, because I'm licensed in New Jersey too. You're not special. Devoted to complex cases and putting people in conservatorships against their will and stealing their property on behalf of their clients. Oh, it doesn't say that. Oh, shoot, that was me. I just was reading into it a little bit. His experience has spanned nearly all facets of litigation. Okay, so all this shit that he probably didn't even write, right? He was working in Manhattan. Look, big nasty is what we'll call him. Big nasty, big law attorney. Look at him. Just look at him. Just look at that man. That is a person who steals human rights. Look at him. David P. Coos, attorney at law. You still got time to make this right, sweetheart. You still got time. It looks like you're about 65 years old. You've been doing it for 65 years, but today you can choose the right thing to do, David. You can wake up tomorrow and choose the right thing to do as well. You can stop this attempted trafficking. You can stop this attempted theft, the highway robbery that you're helping out with your client Wells Fargo. You can stop it today. And I encourage you to do so. All right. So now that y'all got him in your mind, let's get back to our letter here. All right. So that's who's writing this letter. Okay. Big nasty. Whew. All right. Let me get my blood pressure under control. Sometimes you just got to take a deep breath. You know what I mean? Don't ever be afraid to just take a deep breath. All right. Or else you'll appear unhinged on the internet live like I do. Okay. We are concerned. This man has concerns about Wendy Williams. He's concerned about her situation. And we want to reiterate our desire to be heard if the court intends to consider petitioner's attempt to relitigate the issue of a temporary restraining order. It's our hope that the guardianship part, so when you see guardianship part, that basically means kind of like the probate court. It means like the court that's going to be responsible for deciding the issue of guardianship. Okay. So it's our hope that the guardianship court will imminently appoint a temporary guardian. And y'all know what a temporary guardian means from the Britney case. It don't mean temporary. It means they intend for Wendy Williams to be in a conservatorship for the rest of her life until the day that she takes her last breath. That's what it means. They try to couch it and fluff it up at the beginning, talking about temporary. Nothing is temporary about what they're trying to do. Take my word for it or don't. Temporary bullshit. You know what you're trying to do, David Picus, and we all see you doing it. It is our hope that the court will take away Wendy Williams' rights, even though we didn't give her notice that we were filing that, even though we didn't tell her attorney that we were filing that. It is our hope to take away and steal her rights and her property. It is our hope to take and steal away her rights and her property. That's what it says. He likes to use different words for that, but what do we know that it means? Imminently appoint. Imminently appoint. A temporary, we're not going to be fooled, Picus. A temporary guardian or evaluator to review the situation and ensure that the petitioner's affairs are being properly handled. What on God's green earth does my banker know about what's best for me? This is getting out of hand, y'all. I'm sorry for raising my voice, but it is. We also note that Wendy's submission in support of her application is an affirmation, not an affidavit. Her alleged signature is not acknowledged, meaning it's not notarized. So he's basically, this whole paragraph is him saying, we don't even think Wendy actually signed that. So they're basically calling Wendy a liar. We do not accept it. Her signature is not acknowledged. It must be disregarded. They're trying, literally, Wendy Williams must be disregarded, essentially. Wells Fargo, listen to this, like Wells Fargo is so nice and sweet and kind that they are open to arranging with Wendy's lawyer to release a few of Wendy's dollars that belong to Wendy to pay her bills. We're open to arranging to release a couple pennies to her so she can pay her mortgage and her spousal support. But other than that, we're not giving her money that belongs to her. We will continue to hold on to her property that she entrusted with our institution, is what they're saying. Finally, We intend to file opposition. Look, counsel is welcome to contact us at its own without contacting through the court. But that hasn't gotten done what needs to get done yet. Wendy's lawyer had to go to the court. Just wait till we get to the worst part of this letter. Finally, we intend to file opposition papers, meaning they intend to oppose Wendy's request to unfreeze her bank account. They're about to sit there and say, no, we think we should keep her money. We think we should keep it over here with us because Wendy don't know what she's doing with her own money that she earned and worked her whole life to earn. So we don't want you to do that. We believe that the record in this case should be sealed to protect whose privacy? Who, David? Whose privacy are you trying to protect, David? Is it really Wendy's, or is it maybe yours and your clients? Is it yours? Whose privacy are you trying to protect, David? Picoos. We believe that the record in this case should be sealed to protect Wendy's privacy. And pending a sealing order, we would appreciate permission. Instead of writing letters to the court, we want to email you so that that surprise witness and the other YouTubers who are covering this, all the y'all, there's so many videos on YouTube. Type it in, watch everyone's videos, get the word out. Because look what these leeches and alleged criminals, it's been alleged. Look what the leeches are doing. Your Honor, please let us seal this. We want to email you directly. We don't want to have to let the public have their right. Thank you, Moon Magic. I love Capricorns. Look at Moon Magic's comment. I'm a headstrong, logical Capricorn. Well, I'm going to be married to one of those. Okay. Anyway, so here's the big ta-da. This is what we've been waiting for. Would you please let us know if it is possible, if that is possible? Meaning, would you please let us know if we can handle this all hush hush behind the closed doors and not let the public see shit? Please, Mr. David Picoos. The guardianship court has approved our request, pending hearing of the full guardianship application, to utilize an anonymous caption in the proceeding, meaning the guardianship court in whatever state they've filed this in, I'm assuming it's California, I don't know, maybe it's Florida, maybe it's New York, I really don't know. Where does Wendy Williams even live? She's from New Jersey. These people are in New York. She's been living in Miami. So where are they trying to file for this guardianship? I don't know. And now I can't even look because the guardianship court has approved David Picoos' request to use a fake name that's not Wendy Williams' name. They are hiding from the public in plain sight. David, you know you're wrong. You know you're wrong. It's unacceptable. If y'all aren't doing anything wrong, why in that bleep? I know some of y'all watch with your kids. I'm trying to watch my language. Why are you hiding? You know good and goddamn farewell. You know the public has right to access to these hearings. And yet, look at you, you little sneaky snake. Okay. So I also made another, not discovery, but just looking into things. I looked into Lori Schiller. Now, yesterday, if y'all remember from this letter, the petitioner, that's Wendy. This is yesterday's letter, right? We read this one yesterday on the video. Wendy is an established client of Wells Fargo and notably 15 years with the particular financial advisor. So what does that tell y'all? Wendy Williams has used Lori Schiller as her financial advisor for 15 years. Well, let's look at Lori Schiller's work history, shall we? Publicly available documents. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm the only person who can find this. Y'all can Google it yourself. Go to brokercheck.finra.org and type in Lori Schiller, formerly Lori Bianco. Okay. So she currently works as an investment advisor. Oh, shoot. Let me show y'all. I got all excited. Okay. She currently, look, this is where we are. She currently works as an investment advisor. Here, IA means investment advisor at Wells Fargo, right? Since last year. Only since last year has she been a registered investment advisor. Okay. But before that, she worked at Wells Fargo as a broker. See that B right there? That means broker. Okay. But she only started at Wells Fargo in 2018. But look how David Picoos wrote it. Oh, an established client of Wells Fargo for 4 years? Wendy Williams has been your client for 4 years and you know better than how to spend her money than her? How does that work? I am terrified to put my money anywhere. I don't even have money, y'all. Let's be honest. But like one day if I do, what the fuck? What the bleep? She's been a Wells Fargo client for 4 years. And here's Piku's established client of Wells Fargo. And you know what? I'd be trying to seal my shit too, David, because y'all are wrong for what you're doing. Attorney, you're wrong. Look me in my eyes. You're wrong. You're wrong for what you're doing. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You're setting a piss poor example of how to be an attorney. Piss poor. Piss poor. Send me a cease and desist. I want you to. I'm begging you. Bitch. Oh my God. Christina Lowe. Thank you so much, y'all. Help me thank Christina. That is such a generous donation. Thank you so much. Okay. Piss poor. David Piku's big nasty. 15 years with this advisor, right? So then you start looking at Miss Thang's institution she's worked at, and guess what? Now we start to see some Britney Spears overlap. Britney Spears has many accounts in Merrill Lynch, down here where she worked from 98 to 2005. Britney Spears has many accounts with Morgan Stanley, where Miss Thang worked from 2005 to 2007. Miss Thang worked at as a broker at Morgan Stanley, a broker again at Morgan Stanley. That's like Chase Bank type of affiliate. Then you got UBS. Britney Spears had accounts there. So I'm not saying this woman has anything to do with Britney Spears, but I am saying she worked at some of the same banks that Britney Spears has accounts at. And I just have a feeling that all these people who manage big famous people's accounts probably know each other. That's just a feeling. That's just what I feel in my spirit. Y'all don't have to believe me. That's not facts. Not facts. But what do we see from this timeline? Well, Miss Thang, if she's been Wendy's advisor for 15 years, that means, probably Wendy got with her at UBS or something like that. I don't know, maybe Morgan Stanley. And now it's this lady. Again, another thing important to know is among this time, Wendy went through a divorce. And it's speculated, y'all told me this. Y'all are the ones who told me this on Twitter yesterday and on my Instagram comments and on my YouTube comments. But y'all said it used to be the case that, thank you so much, Jacob. Thank you so much. It used to be the case that, I got sidetracked. I don't know why I said it used to be the case, but you don't know what happens when I get sidetracked. YouTube didn't tell you I was live, beep boop bop. That was mean. Okay. Anyway, I don't know what's going on here. Oh, I remember now. Okay. So y'all were telling me yesterday, it used to be the case that Wendy Williams' husband, Kevin Hunter, something Hunter, used to take care of her finances, really would never have let this happen. And then they got divorced. Listen, I don't know anything about Wendy Williams. I told y'all yesterday, I don't really like her, but I'm supporting her fight for her rights because that's the right thing to do. So I'm on your side, Wendy. I don't really like how you covered the Britney case, but we can talk about that after you're not in this situation anymore. Thank you. So a lot of people are saying, what happened was, this is what the speculation. I don't know. This speculation. This ain't facts. But people are saying, well, probably what happened was that Kevin Hunter, or the former husband, probably is friendly with this Lori Schiller. And maybe he still has something to say about the accounts. Maybe he has something to do with this. I don't know if that's true. That's just what y'all are speculating, and I'm relaying the message. But what I do know is Mr. Piku's, Mr. This guy, is telling the court, oh, she's an established client of Wells Fargo. Okay, yeah, for 4 years. And she's been 15 years with this financial advisor. So what that tells me is Wendy Williams has come to Wells Fargo with Lori. Does that make sense? She's an established client of Lori. And Lori changed jobs from UBS to Wells Fargo. So Wendy came with her. And here's Wells Fargo having a client for 4 years talking about, we know, we're concerned. Oh, look how we're concerned. We're concerned. We've known her for 4 years and we're concerned because she's not spending her money how we want, because she fired Lori Schiller after accusing her of malfeasance. Piku's. Let me talk to you. You left that out of your letter. You left it out of your letter that Wendy tried to fire your client. Why did you leave? You wrote 2 letters to the court. You had plenty time. You had plenty paper. I'm so worked up over this, y'all, because Hillary, you're not the only one. I smell embezzlement that Lori wants to cover up. I smell it too. That's not an accusation. It's a scent. I'm just smelling. Sniffs ain't defamation. Oh, y'all, look at my shirt. I wore my Facts Ain't Defamation shirt for y'all. Or no, it says, what's this called? A sweatshirt. Anyway. I started a new supplement. I told y'all about it on Popcorn Planet. But that's why I have all of this energy, and I just need to scream it into this microphone, I guess. Assault your eardrums. Skiller doesn't want to go to jail, somebody said. Where is it? Galaxy X. Possibly. Because this is what me and one of my friends were talking about yesterday. I'm not going to out the friend because I don't want him to have to get deposed. One of my friends was saying yesterday, think about it. You're Wendy Williams, or you're like Kevin Hunter. What's his first name? Can somebody tell me what his name is? Is it Kevin? Sniffs ain't defamation. Okay. This is what we were talking about. This is speculation. Speculation. This is not facts, okay? Speculation. Think about it. You're a famous person. You're Wendy Williams or somebody like that level. You have a lot of money and you want somebody to invest it for you. What are you going to do? Just go up to a bank? Hell no. You're going to ask somebody in the industry. Hey, who manages your books? Who manages your investments? Have you made money on those investments? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, this lady named Lori Schiller. You should go to her. She's at UBS Financial Services, a reputable bank. And wouldn't you think a person that has like one or, more famous people's accounts as an investment advisor, like that's how they build their portfolios. Look at Lou Taylor. She started out by scamming her way into Britney's life. But then once she was able to say, oh yeah, I manage Britney's business, then all of a sudden other famous people will come because it's like, okay, well, Britney Spears, good enough for her, then it's good enough for me. So just following along that, again, it's totally speculation here. I'm just speculating. But isn't it possible that Lori Schiller might have some other big name famous people's account? And isn't it possible that she might be doing something that she wants hidden and covered up? That maybe the likes of Mr. Picoos might be able to help cover up? I don't know. But isn't that possible? Isn't it possible maybe Lori and Wells Fargo have something to hide and they're silencing and medically incarcerating a Black woman? Seems possible to me. And look, listen, I'm not even saying like, okay, listen, I don't want to get it twisted. I don't know anything about Wendy. She might have dementia. Probably not. But even if she did, this is not the way to go about it. Your friggin' financial institution does not and cannot be filing for conservatorships against people. That just isn't the world that we want to live in. Comment below if that's the world you want to live in, where your bank can say you need a conservatorship and file for one behind your back without telling you and you don't even know and you don't have the filing. What? What in the communism regime, fascist, whatever you want to call it? That's not freedom. Your financial institution can conserve you. Your financial institution that has its own, hold on, problems. This financial institution that can steal money from we the people, that can make fraudulent accounts in our name, that can steal from you, the same one can lock you up. And your grandma and your mom and all of them. This is out of hand. It's gone too far. It's gone too far a long time ago. But now we see what y'all are doing. So on that note, David, you still have time to do the right thing. And the right thing would be back it up. Back it up. That was a cute idea that y'all came up with at the executive board meeting, but it's not going to happen. And if it does happen, it's going to be painful. Not in a physical way. That's not a threat of violence. Y'all do not need to be threatening people with violence. We can make it painful with the PR. We can make it painful with our voice because we, the people, do not approve of how Wells Fargo is behaving. We, the people, do not approve of a financial institution that we freely chose to put our money in being able to take away our constitutional, human, and civil rights, much less a bank that can't even figure out how to follow the law itself. Preposterous. Big developments in the Wendy Williams case. So if you have watched my 2 videos on this channel, you have seen these documents. I'll hold up the printed out version because y'all know I print. Now you know why I print stuff. Okay, so here's Wendy's complaint. Here's her affidavit. Here is the letter from David. I know it's, y'all tell me his name is Picus. I'm calling him David Picus because I think it's funny to make fun of him. All right, so David Picus telling us that he filed a petition to put Wendy Williams into a conservatorship. Now you might be wondering, hey BJ, why aren't you showing us these things on the internet instead of, in this weird way with papers? Well, I would love to show it to you on the internet, but unfortunately, I cannot. So as you can see, this is what the website now looks like. Used to be where it says sealed, you used to be able to click and see the petition. But here we go. Order filed yesterday. Wait, what's today? Is today the 16th or the 17th? I think it was yesterday. Order sealing all of the documents. And y'all, they are not narrowly tailoring. This is not narrowly tailored. This is not, put in any kind of way where it's like, oh, we're going to redact some to keep her private information private. No. And we already know that this shit, excuse my language, is not private because we already read it. What privacy needs to be preserved for Wells Fargo? Can somebody explain that to me in the comments? Anybody? All right. But you know what? I don't really care because I already got the information that I need. So let's do a quick recap with each other here on the channel, shall we? All right. First, let me make it bigger. First, Wendy Williams on February 4th filed for Wells Fargo to unfreeze her bank account. Then a bunch of other things were filed. Then around about here, the attorneys started sending letters to the court. Wendy's attorney said, ain't nothing wrong with Wendy Williams. Nothing's wrong with her. She is not subject to undue influence. Here's a thing she can sign, all this stuff. Then this guy, David Picus, right here, he sent letters talking about, no, Wendy Williams is incapacitated and let me get his letter out because you know what? He don't want y'all to see it, but I do. He don't want y'all to see what he said, but I sure damn do. I want you to see what he said. He said this: Wells Fargo has filed a petition in the guardianship court for the appointment of a guardian of the property of Wendy Williams. Here you go. Here y'all go right here. So David Picus said, that's what he said. Here's his signature right here. Filed under penalty of perjury. Wendy Williams is an incapacitated person. All right. Okay. Now, who else do we want to talk about here? Who else is hiding? Who else don't want you to know their information? Well, I don't know how much of this I'm allowed to say, but y'all know I just say whatever I want to anyway. So I'm about to say it. Do you like my sweatshirt? I'm not wearing merch today. All right. So I knew they were going to try and seal these records. We already knew. Who else we dealing with? Oh, let's just talk. Let's just talk about this lady, Shay Liordinu. Now I have communicated with this woman and I posted. Now she is the person who, when I emailed Wells Fargo to ask for a statement, this lady, this one, Shay Liordinu, she's the one who eventually did respond back to me. Now, as you can see from her public profile, which you can click on in the link below, I do not encourage anyone to reach out to this person. I actually would prefer if you do not reach out to this person because I'm about to tell y'all why. So I reached out to the Wells Fargo media inquiry line. I consider myself to be an independent journalist at this point who is reporting on the news. I am also highly educated. I am a lawyer. So I requested media inquiry. I made a media inquiry. And I said, what do y'all have to say about the conservatorship? Well, this lady responds, and she's basically gave me a canned response, which I then went and posted on Twitter. Well, the next time I tried to log into Twitter, somebody had reported that tweet and said, I'm not allowed to share that public media inquiry response. Not allowed to share it because I guess this lady's email address was in it. That's why I'm telling y'all, do not email her. Or if you do, I'm telling y'all not to, because she's going to try and get your Twitter account taken down. I had to delete the tweet. I went ahead into Instagram because my Instagram account has already been deleted once. But this is what happens whenever you try to expose. How on earth, Shay, are you going to tell me I can't attribute a quote to you when you are the head of goddamn communications at Wells Fargo? All right, so let's read Shay's public profile that she has publicly available. Public. Shay is the head of communications for Wells Fargo Wealth and Investment Management, which includes Wells Fargo Advisors and the private bank businesses. In this role, she leads integrated internal, external, and executive communications. She is passionate about telling the Wells Fargo Advisors story, except when you try to give her credit for it, she don't want credit. She told me, don't attribute this quote to me. I don't know who the fuck you think I am, Shay. Who do you think you are trying to tell me what I can say? I got rid of my corporate overlords. I don't work for corporate America no more. So I don't know why you think you can just send out emails as the head of communications and tell people to keep it hush hush. It's kind of weird. And I'm especially insulted because y'all going to find out real soon this lady is from Louisiana. I think we might even share an alma mater. We do. We got the same degree from the same university, and this is how it happens. Sometimes you can go to LSU and you can come out all right, just like me. And sometimes you can turn out like this lady, Shaylee Ordniano. See what else she got going on this public profile. She don't want nobody knowing who she is, so you know what that means. I'm going to let y'all know who she is. It's public information. There's nothing private here. Don't tell nobody I told you. Well, I'm telling them, Shay. I'm telling them, what you going to do? What you going to do? What y'all going to do to me? Huh? Nothing. Not a damn thing. Shay joined Wells Fargo Advisors in 2017, around about the same time that Lori Schiller did in 2018. Previously, she led public relations for Scottrade. Prior to that, she was with FedEx at their world headquarters in Ware, Tennessee. All roads lead back. At FedEx, she held a variety of communications leadership roles. Thank you, Ruth. How can a bank control our lives? That's a great question, Ruth. I would like to know. Thank you for the super chat. All right. Shay began her communications career with a business-to-business technology company in California, moved to a .com startup, then to a leadership role with what? The University of California system? Well, here come Vivian Lee Thurin's alumni network. She grew up along the Gulf Coast of Louisiana. So did I. Holds master's and bachelor's degrees. Actually, I don't have a master's degree. I technically have a doctorate degree, but who's keeping track? It don't matter because I still grew up on the Gulf Coast. And you know what I got that's more important than any of this legal sense? Common sense. Why would the head of communications of one of the biggest banks in the whole world not want to be accredited with a media inquiry response? It's weird, Shay. You're weird. But if y'all having a crawfish bowl for Mardi Gras, I'll be there. Y'all want to invite me? Just record everything. Shay and her husband, Flavu, live in the St. Louis area and have one child. Well, I feel bad for that child if the mom handles their raising her kid like she handles her job. Secretive and sketchy. All right, who else? Who else we need to talk about? David P. Coos. We never really did read his we didn't really read his whole thing. So I think, why not? Why not read David Piku's whole little bio here? Since none of these people want to be known, well, we're going to have y'all be known, baby. Y'all want to Y'all want to do this here? Y'all want to seal everything? Well, I might come and make a new YouTube video every single day just reading your bio here. David P. Coos gets results. Well, damn sure he sure damn does. He sure gets results if the results you're looking for are a complete and utter lack of transparency. 100%. He has been actively engaged as a litigator for over 3 decades in New York and New Jersey. Devoted to complex cases, his experience has spanned nearly all facets of public litigation, including general, commercial, matrimonial, that means marriage, bankruptcy, regulatory, public utilities, securities, environmental, and intellectual property. Well, this man just does everything. You just hire him to do any damn thing you want him to do. David's career has spanned a wide legal spectrum. It is. A lot of times you don't see lawyers who have this much stuff on their CV, but I would actually like to see what he actually did. If it was his associates doing the work and he's taking the credit, because look, he's a big wig. He's a big wig, partner, principal, putting people in conservatorships. This is Wells Fargo's attorney, if y'all are lost. What else did this man do? David's career has spanned a wide legal spectrum, endowing him with a virtually unmatched diversity of experience. What do any of these damn words mean? It's just corporate fluff. That's all it is. Fluff. He has equivalent experience practicing before the courts and administrative agencies in both New Jersey and New York. He lectures regularly on New York and New Jersey family law, foreclosures, judgment enforcement, and other issues. He started his career in 1980 at one of Manhattan's largest law firms. So did I, and I made it 3 months before Lou Taylor came and tried to hire him to make me shut up. And then I quit. Rising to partner and co-administrator of the firm's litigation and marriage departments. In early 1994, he joined Bressler. This is the current law firm that he's with now, where he has been a principal, which means like an equity partner, I think, for over 25 years. Over his career, he has represented celebrity entertainers, Wendy Williams, professional athletes, corporate CEOs, authors, bankers, physicians, lawyers, accountants, public utilities artists, financial institutions, bankruptcy committees, and trustees. He has litigated numerous and well-known cases, including ones about railroads, ones about nuclear plants, one's first impression cases in family law, including equitable distribution and professional practices, and insurance awards, multi-million-dollar insurance coverage, comity granted, okay, all this stuff. I do not care. Considered a lawyer's lawyer, which is the most terrifying type of lawyer you can be, given what we know about these lawyers at this point. Y'all, who can write about themselves for this long? This is boring. David, you're boring. I hope your kids tell you you're boring too. You're taking away people's rights. You left that part off of your damn bullet points. Y'all see taking Wendy Williams' rights away from her? Because I don't. Maybe he should update it. Again, nobody send this man no emails. Considered a lawyer's lawyer and valued for his acuity of thought and analytical ability, David also regularly advises other law firms and has acted as an expert on American law for foreign lawyers. Appointed as special master in major cases in the New York Supreme Court and the look, this is how connected these people are. What on earth is a special master in a court? Can we just not have judges and bailiffs and people no more? We've got a special master. David served as assistant counsel for the New York Governor's Judicial Screening Committee, special counsel for the New Jersey Democratic State Committee, aide to New Jersey Governor Brendan Byrne, and is an adjunct professor at Jersey City State College, now known as New Jersey City University. A prolific writer on a variety of substantive legal disciplines, he has authored articles published in New Jersey Lawyer, New Jersey Law Journal, and The Record. Okay. Selected on the Martindale Hubbell AB Preeminent Lawyers list and New York Metro Super Lawyers, which is something that you nominate yourself for. So I'm not impressed. All right. Who else other than Mr. Picoos do we need to talk about today? Oh, yes. Lori Schiller, who has now deleted her Instagram account. Who else? Let's look. Here we go. Lori Schiller. Again, don't email. Don't call. We are just talking about publicly available information here. As a financial advisor with Wells Fargo, and you can find these links below, but do not call, I can offer you, what is this? Liking this video will mean YouTube will promote this stream to more people to get the information out. Exactly. Everybody go like the video. You can dislike it too, because it's still gonna give me a boost in the algorithm. This is what they don't want you to see. Should we just have a reading party where I read y'all the publicly available documents that are now sealed? Should we have a reading party? Let me know how I should do this, because I don't want my stuff getting deleted. But I feel like I have a duty as a journalist, as a lawyer, as an activist for women's rights and disability rights and all of that, to let y'all know what's going on. Look, let's read Lori Schiller's commitment to us. As a financial advisor with Wells Fargo Advisors, I can offer you a wide range of services, from helping you select individual investments to developing a retirement plan. With access to a broad array of company resources, including research analysts and economic and market experts, I can help you make informed investment decisions based on your specific needs. She can also help put your ass in a conservatorship. She left that part out of her bio. She can also go and tell her boss and go and tell David P. Coos that they want you in a conservatorship, and they can petition a court to do it. Then after that, she can go ahead and help to make sure it's all secret. This is terrifying. Let's go to the FINRA broker check. Look up Miss Schiller. So some of y'all had asked, how do you look up? How did you find Lou Taylor? How did you find Lori Schiller? This is how. It's very easy. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Lori Schiller. Look at that. Lori Bianco, Lori Schiller. Click it. Now you can see everything what she all did. This is all her little, look, Merrill Lynch, Brittany had money there. Morgan Stanley, Brittany had money there. And UBS. Now it says she left UBS in 2017. Well, isn't that interesting? Because this lady just started here in 2017 too. The whole crew come over together. I don't know. I'm not alleging that. I don't know. All I'm doing is asking questions. So I don't know what else to really say. I just feel like I need to let y'all know who's behind this case. Head of communications, Shaylee Ordia knew. She was answering questions. She didn't want me to tell people she was answering questions. I don't understand how that's private information whenever the public website has you as the head of communications. I know you went to a good school, girl, because I went to the same one. So I know it ain't, you know what I mean? Look, go Tigers. Go Tigers. So what you doing over there being scared to you the head of communications at Wells Fargo? What's so scary about that? You don't want the public to know what you helping to cover up or what? Now, I don't really have too much else to say. I do have the documents. I wonder how the best way to make those publicly available, because I don't believe they need to be sealed. What else I got printed out over here? Look. Got me a letter. Oh, this is the most recent filing. Y'all want to take a screenshot of that? The last thing before it was all sealed. Where's the transparency? It's our institutions. Our tax dollars are paying the judges to keep these documents from us. That's what's going on. Go Tigers. I'm not putting my money in Wells Fargo. I'm going to tell y'all that. I don't even have money, and I ain't putting it in Wells Fargo. So let's watch this video. Wendy Williams apparently did make an appearance on Instagram yesterday. I thought that we could just maybe watch it together and do a little react, and then.
Hey Mom, how you doing?
So it's kind of hard to hear because it's windy and it's on a beach. No pun intended. But I have seen speculation that this is actually an old video. So I don't really know what that's all about, but let's just watch a little bit of this, about 5 minutes long, and see what Wendy had to say on her new verified Instagram account. I'll tell y'all what the name of it is. Bye, Steve. The name of Wendy's new Instagram account is called The Real Wendy Williams Online, and she only has these 2 posts. So listen, I don't know, if this is or isn't windy. We will. I mean, I don't know if this is or isn't recent, but I mean, it's clearly windy.
Hi.
How's your morning going?
It's just after 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm doing okay, Beautiful sky. It's nice being here.
How often do you come out here?
Well, I'm here in Florida, and I come here
So she said she's here in Florida.
often. I've got
Often.
real family. Mother, father, sister, brother, family. And it's very peaceful being here,
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, so dope.
Beautiful. It seems windy because it is.
Is it always like this, or is it usually warmer?
It's not usually warmer. It's still winter. It usually gets up to, they say, 80 degrees. But
So she said it's winter, so that indicates to me that it's recent, but I don't know.
I haven't gone to run in it. I don't want to do all of that. And then in a couple of hours.
Okay, oh my God, we are in the presence of a Wendy Williams celebrity. Chronicle Speaks, welcome, hello. Chronicle Speaks said this was filmed yesterday. The account is verified and she considers her mother in Florida because she's buried there. Okay, thank you for that update, for that information. So Wendy is saying that her mom is there because she is buried there. And that makes sense. She said it at the beginning of the video.
Hours, I go to my gym.
Are you working out after this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Excuse me, you know that I work out all the time, even though you don't come with me. I go on my own.
No, but I didn't think you go this early in the morning. I just thought you just go whenever you feel like it.
No, I like to go early because after I work out, I get tired. I want to, take a shower again. And then I like to.
Okay, so another publicist verified. So this is, I didn't want to be saying fake news, but y'all are saying this has been verified. It is windy. So I stand corrected. It is verified that this is windy. It is on her verified
Lay
account.
down, watch TV. I get on the phone and call friends and family. And some business. I do call business affairs.
Right. Okay.
And, back at the apartment. That's where we live here. That's where he lives here. Thanks to me.
All right. Well, all right, so after this, we're going to go work out.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else planned for today, or you're just going to take it cool? Just relax.
I think that's it.
You're taking a break from everything, really.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not a break. I do this all the time.
I'm talking about more so like a break from like New York and stuff.
Yeah, this is a break from New
So her son's asking, like, you're taking a break from New York to get away from all that, right?
York. New York is fast paced, which I love.
Yeah.
I love here in Florida as
Doesn't look like dementia to me either.
much as I do New York, but they are two very different things and people. But New York is my heart, and Florida's a beautiful place, beautiful, regular, sometimes weird in a good way. Aren't we all weird in a good way?
So, speaking of that, a lot of people have been wondering, like, what you've been up to, and they've been, sending their prayers out and everything. What do you have to say to those people just, like, thinking that you're up to whatever it is? Like, what do you have to say to them?
You say prayers and think about me? Really? Well, thank you.
Yeah, so everyone's praying about you.
Thank you.
Want to make sure that you come back stronger than ever.
Excuse me. I am going back stronger,
Oh, okay.
Admittedly so, at 56 years old. There are things that happen to people.
You gotta let them know.
I would say things
Thank you, Plastic
start
Poncho.
about 40, and they go up from there.
Yeah.
So you gotta eat the right food. I'm not gonna go out to eat. Kevin, I don't want to go out to eat today. I want to order the food, bring it in, make sure that it's already ready, so all I have to do is heat it up, okay?
All right, but
I used to cook. When I was a kid, I used to cook, when I was married and we lived, with our son in New Jersey. But now I strictly get food brought in. and it's vegan, it's vegetarian.
And isn't one of your favorite foods that are vegan the acai bowl?
Yeah, I do like that.
Wendy likes the
I do
acai
like
bowl.
that. I like regular stuff too, though. But I don't eat a lot of it. And when I do, I think I told you this. I'll take 1 or 2 bites of a real cheeseburger, a real hamburger, real steak, and then I take 1 or 2 bites and then throw it away. And I'm good. The other food is really good, but it's crazy to think that you get skinny because you eat fake food or that vegetarian, vegan.
Right.
It's
Okay. I'm not sure like the extent to which like this is going to actually be helpful, but I'm going to continue playing it for the last like 1 minute just in case this gets removed from the internet or whatever. It'll be here archived.
It's not. There are plenty of people who eat that kind of food and they're fat. They go through health problems. I mean, everybody's got issues, don't we?
Yeah, it's about taking everything in moderation, right?
Yeah, everything in moderation. I like the height that I am. You know, at 56, a lot of times people start to hunch over.
Right.
And they become taller. So it's very important. You know, I want to be all I can be and then get back to New York and get on down.
She's talking
Wendy
to her
Williams
son.
show. How'd you do?
All right, well, I'm going to let you continue your walk.
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to check in with you later.
Okay. Look, leave me alone. Now you go back and I'll walk back.
All right, see you.
Leave me alone. Okay. So that was the video that was uploaded yesterday, and there is some disagreement about whether or not it is an update, a current video, but I believe Chronicle Speaks is like on top of this case. And if she said that this is verified and this is Wendy from yesterday, then I'm more inclined to believe that. Just because I know she's been on this case. Thank you, Heart of Inspiration. They moved the entire case to the guardianship court without releasing her funds. And now it appears Picus is no longer the attorney, and we do not know who's representing Wells Fargo. Okay. I wouldn't want to be the attorney either. So Picus, when we told him it wasn't too late to do the right thing, and it seems like somebody did the right thing because Picus ain't on the thing anymore. So I guess we can stop talking about him. They moved the whole case to the guardianship course without releasing her funds. So where did you, thank you so much, Heart of Inspiration, for the super chat and for letting me know. Where did you find that information out? Because I would like to look more into it as well. So who told y'all that? I want to look. So that's what's going on with Wendy. Again, y'all should follow Chronicle Speaks because she is on top of this case. She has been talking about it since before I even knew it was going on. So I would follow her because she has the updates. So yeah, thanks for coming by. I feel like very like, oh, she was here. That's so cool. And yeah, I think Wendy's fine. I think this is a huge money grab. And I don't even know how we're going to continue to keep up with this case because now everything is sealed. But let's keep our foot on their necks because you know God good and well, they're going to keep their foot on ours. So, you know, hashtag unfreeze Wendy. Facts ain't defamation. Love you, Mina. K. Bye.
Welcome into my world. You're playing my game. Thought that you could come up and they're fitting off of my knee. Talking out the side of your neck like you're insane. Cortisol levels to the roof. Inflame. Kids these days so shameless. Selling out real friends for a paycheck. Mama didn't teach them no home training. Wanna be me so bad, but they failing. Step to the plate though. I'll take a challenger. I ain't scared of no low life scavenger. I should warn you though, if you haven't heard, I ain't no Colleen, ukulele ballager. Shots been fired. Run and tell that. Say it to my face though. Now behind my back. Won't be long till you share it in the group chat. And when I call you up, you're gonna backtrack. And you should've kept my name out your mouth. That's Vivo, how it all turned